Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick demo of my brand new, well it's not brand new, I've had this about a month I guess. This is Gibson J-45 Studio Walnut. Beautiful piece of wood here, honestly. Walnut back and sides. Spruce top. The neck is, I believe the neck is mahogany. And fingerboard is also walnut. And there's a cool little birthmark right there. Right there. Bridge is walnut too, I believe. This is a beautiful instrument. I've been looking at guitars for a while. My old acoustic got ruined in the mildew tragedy that's been that befell me these past months, and so I shelled out some money for this. One thing I really like about this guitar, I don't know if you can see this, has a very chunky neck. I think this is what they call their advanced response neck. To me, it's like a fat C. I'm not sure how deep it is, but it's close to an inch. It's got to be at least 0.86 or so at the first fret, and it gets chunkier on the way down. Nice full shape that fills the hand. It's a wide board too. This is a 1 3/4 inch nut width. I'm not sure what the nut is made of. If that's, I don't think it's bone. I think it's like tusk or something like that. I believe the saddle is the same material. These are the original strings that came on it. Probably the first thing you'll notice is that it's voiced very differently than your typical like Taylor or Martin. Martin tends to be a little bit more scooped in the mid-range, and Taylor's just kind of off doing its own thing. They're very bright guitars. I think they're almost too bright. I guess they have their place for certain things. A lot of people like them. Who am I to say? I've tried very hard to like Taylors. It's just tough for me. I'm not feeling them. The only other acoustic that really spoke to me recently was a Collins OM. It was an OM1, mahogany body, spruce top. But that was mid $4,000 for that, and I just couldn't justify an expenditure like that in my present financial state and present level of ability, or maybe inability would be a better way of putting it. So this was kind of a happy medium. This was about $2,000 out the door, give or take. Got a, I guess it's a Levi's, I'm not sure how you pronounce their name, strap. And I just did a review of this custom leather strap holder here, which actually kind of goes around it on both sides. This is just like a big old button. And then I've got this Diodario apparatus at the back because, and look at that end grain, by the way. This Diodario apparatus at the back because they have these weird, like super thin, like end pins on these. So this kind of pinches around it so it won't come loose. But yeah, I noticed right away when I picked this up, this was the sound that I'm looking for. Now, some of you have been following my channel for a while. You'll remember a couple of years ago, in 2017, I bought a was it? It's an HP 635W. It was one of the early models offered, like American Wood models offered by the Bozeman, Montana plant. It was also walnut back and sides. I think it had a maple neck instead of mahogany, and I think the fingerboard and the bridge were Richlight instead of walnut. So a little bit different, but very similar. Very similar tone neighborhood. This is, I think this is just a little bit more pleasing sound than that one. It's very balanced sounding, but it has a definite pronounced mid-range to it, which I really like. Not everybody likes that, but I really like that. And when I hear this, I hear like traditional bluegrass, I hear old school country, even like Social D's acoustic stuff. I'm pretty sure Mike Ness uses a J-45, although his is probably mahogany. So it's just a classic slope shoulder dreadnought shape, a less deep body. It's thicker at the end than it is in the front. It has kind of a taper to it. And so it's comfortable to hold. And you can do everything on here, man. I mean, obviously you heard the arpeggios and the strummy stuff. Lots of note clarity and separation for that stuff. But you can also do like fingerstyle. And that's with a thumb pick, but even just straight finger style. So what I was running into with all the Martins and Taylors and pretty much everything else out there, all the lesser brands, was stuff that would either sound good for fingerstyle or it would sound good for strumming, but not really for both. And I feel like this guitar does everything well. And I think it has to do with that mid-range, because there's certain types of playing, especially like soft fingerstyle with your fingers, and some of the strummy stuff, where it can get a little bit muddy, it can get a little mushy, it can be hard to hear, like note definition, with an instrument that's voiced differently. And this, it really still jumps out at you. And then of course for like, you know, fast single note runs or bluegrass type stuff, or don't ask me to try to play bluegrass because I'm not that good at it, but it really jumps out, you know. Even some of the jazz stuff, sorry. But yeah, you get the idea, you know. Jazz isn't my forte either, as much as I try. It's a really nice instrument for a couple grand. All solid wood construction, all American made, you know, that's a big deal for me. There's some nice instruments being made in China right now. Eastman comes to mind, among a few other companies. But I can't buy from China. I can't support them. I'll do another video at some point about why I don't buy from China. It's nothing against the Chinese people themselves. It's not anything racial. It has to do with their government and some geopolitical stuff, you know, but especially their government and how they oppress and persecute not only their own people, but Christians and even like the Uyghur Muslims and the Falun Gong and stuff, you know. So American made is a big deal to me. I love to support American companies and American products if I can. I really, really like this instrument. So I just wanted to share it with you. I'm trying to show you some more angles on it here. It has, I don't know if it comes through in the glare of the light, but the finish on this is gorgeous. It's nitrocellulose lacquer, and it really just showcases the wood grain beautifully. It even smells good. Walnut is a nice wood. I'm surprised that more acoustic makers don't use walnut, not only because it's a beautiful looking wood, as I'll show you again here. It's got a gorgeous, you know, grain to it, but it's a beautiful sounding wood. The other Gibson acoustic that I had that I liked so much was also walnut, and I really liked that one too, and I think the walnut had a lot to do with that mid-range voice that it had. The other thing I'd say about this that kind of surprised me is it can get loud. And you drive it, I mean, it could be definitely be a bluegrass cannon, you know, like you can get some volume out of it. And some acoustics, if you play them hard, they just kind of fold up and compress. And this seems to hold itself together really well. So one thing I will say, the shop that I bought this from, I think it was Guitar Center actually. I can't stand Guitar Center, but it's the second time I bought a brand new acoustic from them in 4 years. They were nice enough, the sales guy was nice enough to order another model of this exact same model, which was this one actually, the one they had in the store I really liked. But I said, do you have another one that I can just compare them? And they said, no, but we can order one in, you know. So they ordered one in, I had to pay for it up front, but they said we'll refund it if you decide you don't want either one. I was surprised. This one was much brighter than the last one, the original one, which I liked. It still had that pronounced mid-range, but it had a lot more bass, almost too much bass. And this one I feel like is a little bit more evenly voiced. So I will say, especially with solid wood guitars, if you can play multiple versions of the same instrument, it's definitely worth trying a few of them, because like anything handmade and like anything made from individual pieces of wood, you can have a tremendous variance in voice. Even the same wood from the same tree, different parts of the same tree can sound radically different. So if you're looking for a new acoustic and you're finding yourself not really fitting into the Martin or the Taylor camp, these are worth a look. Once again, they're made in Bozeman, Montana. I think it even says that in there. I don't know if you can see that. You might be able to zoom in or something. But just a gorgeous instrument. And a lot of these companies that are out here right now making acoustics are not offering necks like this. They're not offering a nut width 1 3/4 or a profile like this. This is probably one of the biggest profiles I've played since my old Epiphone, which was a 1-inch neck. It was a soft V shape, whereas this is more of a C. But you know, a lot of these acoustics that are out now have thin necks, and they're maybe 1 11/16. So this has a nice width to it, lots of space between the strings for fingerstyle stuff or jazz chording, whatever, and just a really, really nice, comfortable neck to hold all the way up. It's not too fat where you can't really get around it to do, you know, more expressive chords, but it's got some beef to it. So if you're someone that cramps up on a flatter or thinner neck, you'll really, really like this instrument. Anyway, I don't want to go too long. I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's not the best demo, but I thought it would at least give you an idea of what this instrument can do, and just play it a little bit for you. So, you know, let me run us out with something else here. What's think of something I can do here. Nice. Thank you later.